The day the Prince of the Capital made his official relationship announcement, I was on stage at a film festival receiving an award. His past as my sponsor resurfaced on the trending list. His current girlfriend got jealous, snatched my gigs, stole my endorsement deals. During the live interview, the host brought him up on purpose. I smiled. Wish him well. As for me, I'm also about to have some good news. That day, the TV screen in Bruno's house was smashed into pieces. Chapter 1. Right before the award ceremony, my assistant handed me my phone with an uneasy expression. The top trending topic was marked with a bold explosive tag. Bruno had made it official. His fiancée, the rising actress Alice, the same one who recently snatched my roles and hijacked my endorsement deals. I chuckled bitterly. She really didn't need to go that far. Suddenly, someone exposed a piece of gossip on a forum that the Prince Charming Alice just bagged used to be the sugar daddy of the film queen, Camilla. There were pictures as proof. What surfaced was an old photo of Bruno and me kissing in London. The thread went viral fast. Someone even dug up photos from my high school days, some I didn't even remember taking. That's when netizens realized Bruno and I were once classmates for 2 whole years. One blurry photo was reposted everywhere. Taken with an old school phone, quality barely passable. Had my hair up in a high ponytail, loose strands framing my face, head down working on an exam. Bruno sat beside me, one arm propping up his head, his school uniform hugged his shoulders just right. He was quietly watching me. Whoever took the photo probably meant to capture the sycamores outside the window. Sunlight poured in. Bruno and I happened to be sitting in the brightest spot. He was looking straight into the camera, but his gaze toward me was unreadable, intense, lingering. There was also a short video, mostly background noise. The person filming chuckled. Camila, what do you think you'll be doing 10 years from now? In the video, my cheeks were still round, and when I smiled, 2 sharp canines peeked out. 10 years from now, I think I'll be an amazing schoolteacher. Bruno stood beside me with his hands in his pockets, drawling. Camila the teacher, adored by thousands of students. I looked up at him. What about you? What will you be doing? He smirked. Guess I'll be working as the security guard at your school. The group around us screamed and hooped, their laughter extra loud in the grainy old video. The comment section went wild. This is peak canary in a gilded cage romance. I'm crying. Pure heartbreak aesthetic. She really is the queen of screen. Even a blurry photo tells a whole story. No wonder Camila's endorsements were all given to Alice. The new girlfriend was jealous. Camila tried everything and still couldn't marry into high society. I turned off my phone. What I didn't expect was, during the live interview, the host would deliberately bring up that piece of history. Mind a little gossip. Heard about Bruno's engagement news? I smiled. I've heard. I wish him all the best, and by the way, I'm also about to share some good news myself. That same day, somewhere out of my sight, Bruno's television shattered into 1,000 pieces. Chapter 2. The second female lead in my new drama is Alice, and quite a few people were waiting for drama off-screen too. Bruno came to visit his girlfriend on set. Paparazzi and fan site photographers all lifted their cameras, shooting like crazy. He arrived flamboyantly. His sports car screeched to a halt right at the entrance, kicking up a cloud of dust. Alice, dressed in her historical costume, lifted her hem and leapt into his arms like a butterfly. Bruno, you're here. I lowered my eyes. Bruno affectionately patted her head. The two of them walked past me, shoulder to shoulder. He didn't even spare me a glance. Someone beside me sighed. Bruno really treats his girlfriend so well. Yeah. He's always been attentive. And he knows exactly how to love someone. Chapter 3. Back then, I had just started acting. I was just a small-time extra. Bruno used to visit the set, always quietly, discreetly. He'd have his driver park the Cayenne at the far corner. He'd walk the rest of the way himself. He was tall, with great posture. Even with a mask on, he exuded presence. The crew often mistook him for a top star and would sneak glances at him. Young Master Bruno had never suffered hardship, yet he sat with me eating boxed meals that cost 8 yuan. His brows were knitted in disgust. You eat this every day? It's just bland soup and rice. He pinched my cheeks, eyes full of concern. You've gotten so skinny. I didn't mind. It's normal. Just ahead, the male lead was walking into his trailer with a tray of catered food. Bruno slammed his chopsticks down. Why's his food so damn nice? I sighed. He's the male lead, you know. A traffic-driving idol with a fan base. Has a temper almost as bad as yours. Bruno, unusually, didn't snap at my jab. He just sat on the tiny stool, his Burberry coat dragging on the dusty ground. Eyes wide, he asked. Are you telling me any slime mold can be in idol dramas these days? I burst out laughing. Well, it's the fanbase that counts now. Even ugly guys can make it if they've got support. Bruno frowned, squinting at the male lead. Damn. He looks worse on camera. I should print his face and tape it on my front door to ward off evil. Even weasel spirits would turn tail and run. A passing actress overheard and stifled her laughter. Camila, your boyfriend's tongue is sharper than a switchblade. Bruno shamelessly grinned at her. Thanks for the compliment. The young girl blushed all the way to her ears and scurried off. Later that day, after one call from him, our cheap boxed meals were replaced with freshly made private cuisine, lavish and delicious. Bruno said, I originally just wanted to upgrade your meals alone, but if you get singled out in a crew like this, people will gossip. You're still new, better not to stand out too much. So I invested a little, helped upgrade the whole crew's food and lodging. He was always thoughtful, flawlessly considerate. I was so moved I didn't know what to say. Chapter 4. After that drama wrapped, winter arrived. Bruno was going to the UK with his friends to spend Christmas with one of their childhood buddies. A bunch of rich heirs from the capital had chartered a large private jet. He taught me how to play cards on the flight. They praised my good luck and quick wit, saying I was a fast learner. I was foolish back then. I thought that meant I was finally fitting into his world. I never realized that class divides run deep. To them, I was just a pretty little bird for amusement, one that wouldn't fly away even if untethered. That was my first time going abroad, and it was only then I realized the broken English I'd learned back home was nowhere near enough. Trying to talk with foreigners, every conversation felt like a struggle. One of Bruno's friends, Kevin, had a mixed-race girlfriend. I overheard her whispering to him mockingly, Bruno's friend sounds like she's from some backwater English village. Kevin chuckled along. Typical small-town scholarship girl. No surprise there. Bruno didn't hear it, but I felt so humiliated, I wanted to disappear into the floor. Bruno's circle of friends loved to party, but none of them were slackers. Each of them had a family business to inherit and had received elite education since childhood. Even when Bruno transferred from an international school to our high school for 2 years, his family still hired foreign tutors to keep him from falling behind. My academic achievements felt stellar, but only on paper. Once I was overseas, I realized how meaningless my grades were in the real world. Bruno's friend once said, our old pals working hard in the UK doing part-time jobs and studying. Living pretty rough. I thought he meant truly struggling. Turns out, he paid £2 million to buy a townhouse in central London, just to live in while studying and working hard. When everyone stepped inside, they joked. Simon, treat yourself better. This pigeon cage of yours is too cramped for us to even move. Kevin winked and teased. Man, with walls this thin, whatever you're doing at night, we're gonna hear it all. I was beyond awkward. Bruno kicked him. Shut up. But Kevin just kept grinning. That night, Bruno took me to Regent Street to see the angel lights. Simon, ever cautious, had arranged for 2 plainclothes bodyguards to follow us. The street was full of people celebrating Christmas. Red buses passed by, and the lights bathed everything in a shimmering glow. As the first snow began to fall, I could hear people joyfully greeting each other. Merry Christmas. Bruno turned his head to look at me, was born with those seductive almond-shaped eyes, with slightly upturned corners. He didn't need to smile to look tender. But his whole aura was cool and distant. Even the leather jacket he wore gave off a cold edge in winter. Some people feel far away, even when they're standing right in front of you. He gently tucked a strand of hair behind my ear, then cupped my face in his hands, his palms slightly cold. I saw faint twinkling amusement in his eyes, and as the bells struck midnight, he leaned down and kissed me. Chapter 5. The next day, we went to Kevin's estate in London, brought out some wine from the cellar. Everyone was already a bit tipsy. In high spirits, Kevin called a few model friends over, told them to strip down to their lingerie and walk a live runway for us. Wads of cash were stuffed into the seams of their bras and panties. One of the girls said in broken Chinese, I love you so much, and no one seemed to think anything was wrong. I felt deeply uncomfortable and stayed silent. Kevin, reeking of alcohol, pointed at me. Hey, big star, dance for us. If it's good, I'll introduce you to the New Year's Gala director. The others clapped and jeered. Bruno's face went cold. No. Kevin, hugging his bottle, scoffed. What do you mean no? She's just an extra. Not even a D-lister. Oh, you know how many people would kill to appear at the gala? Bruno's voice turned icy. Camila isn't like your girlfriends. What's the difference? She ain't that special. You throw money at her, she'll put out too. Bruno raised his fist and punched him hard. The girls screamed. The table flipped. Bottles shattered on the floor, soaking the white carpet in red wine, a disturbing sight. Kevin, fuming, roared. You're hitting me over some actress? How long has she even known you? I've known you for years. It was utter chaos. I sat there frozen, numb, cold inside. Eventually, Simon broke up the fight. He only said one sentence to me. Camila, you two are not the same. Break up with him, sooner rather than later. Looking back now, all I feel is regret. If I had listened to Simon and left Bruno sooner, maybe none of the misfortunes that followed would have happened. Chapter 6. That night after filming, Bruno was already gone. Alice glanced at me briefly before rushing off the set. I went back to the RV to feed my dog, Makoto. The director sent word, Alice hated dogs, and even keeping one in the RV wasn't allowed. I had to get rid of it. Makoto just lay there listlessly. When I gave him food, he ate very slowly, and vomited. I knew something was wrong. I rushed him to the emergency vet in the middle of the night. The vet felt around his abdomen. His expression grew serious. Go get an X-ray. Immediately. My heart sank. My hands were trembling non-stop. After the scan, the vet came out, fuming. There's major trauma to the abdomen, clearly from a human kick. How do you even take care of a dog? My mind went blank. I don't know. I really don't know what happened. Makoto must have been in unbearable pain. He was rolling on the operating table, howling in agony. The vet shook his head. The internal organs are too damaged. There's no way to save him. I recommend euthanasia. He's suffering too much. My lips turned pale, my body swayed, almost collapsing. I held Makoto in my arms and cried uncontrollably. The golden retriever was panting heavily from the pain, yet still reached out his trembling tongue to lick away my tears. The vet began preparing the injection. Makoto didn't know what death was, didn't know he was about to leave me. He looked at me with those dark soulful eyes, and nudged his head into my arms, as if trying to comfort me like always. I wept, stroking his head. The needle pushed in, and he never made another sound. Chapter 7. That day, I cried so hard I started hyperventilating and was rushed to the emergency room. The filming couldn't be paused the next day. With swollen eyes, I went back to the set, while also sending people to check the surveillance footage. As luck would have it, the security room said the cameras were broken. I had a suspect in mind, but there was no evidence. It was too difficult for me to handle alone, so I called Justin. Justin, my so-called boyfriend. He had done business in Hong Kong for years. He was ruthless and resourceful. After returning to the mainland, he rapidly expanded his business ventures and is now a top figure in the industry. Between him and me, it was mutual benefit. His people had many connections, and in less than 2 days they found an extra who had abruptly left midway through the shoot that day. Extras usually have a hard time finding work, so they don't quit halfway unless something major happens. Justin's men practically dragged that person over. The one escorting him spat. Already bought a high-speed rail ticket. Planning to run, huh? The extra trembled in fear. It's not my fault, not my business. I just happened to see something. I clenched my molars and forced myself to stay calm. What did you see? He hunched his shoulders and said timidly. *T, I'm scared to talk. I took money. What if I speak and they come after me? I directly grabbed a metal rod, my tone flat. I don't know about that. But if you don't tell me the truth, I'll beat you until you do. His knees buckled and he fell to the floor. I'll talk. It was Miss Alice. I saw her enter your trailer. My heart sank like a stone. Chapter 8. I wanted to post on Weibo and publicly confront Alice. My agent stopped me, and the company immediately changed my Weibo password. My account usage rights were temporarily revoked. My agent looked troubled. Camila, There's nothing we can do. You understand this too. As a public figure, once you make private matters public, it becomes a face-off between two teams, a battle of capital. Alice has powerful backing. Bruno is the main investor in this drama. We're powerless. I clenched my fists tightly, my nails digging into my palms, but I seemed to feel no pain. How could I not understand? Compared to all the benefits at stake, what's a dog worth? Signing with the company made me nothing more than a display product. What autonomy do I have? But Makoto was my family, someone I raised from a puppy. He didn't understand why strangers hated him so much. He only knew that when someone came, he happily wagged his tail and ran to greet them. I didn't dare imagine how hard Alice must have kicked him to rupture his organs so badly that he didn't even make it through the night. Justin called me. If you need help, just let me know. I was exhausted. She's backed by Bruno. Offending him won't be good for you. His voice on the phone was calm and steady. I'm not that weak. You might as well make good use of me as one of your contacts. I vaguely recalled the time I broke up with Bruno. There was no argument, no tears. I ended things with him via WeChat, blocked him on all platforms, and moved out of the villa efficiently. I left behind just one book by Chi. Inside was a page marked with a bookmark. Though a mere mortal, if love can reach the point where snow covers bough and blade, then all that's left is a soft farewell. How ridiculous. Back when I loved him the most, even breaking up was filled with love and pain. I couldn't bear to say a harsh word. Who would have thought that we'd end up on opposite sides like this? I softly thanked Justin. Thank you. You've already helped me so much. Always have. Chapter 9. That afternoon, I filmed a scene with Alice. According to the script, I had to slap her. The director said we could use a camera trick to fake it. Once filming started, I delivered my line. Who do you think you are to stand on equal footing with me? I swung my arm wide and gave her a hard slap across the face. The force was so great that she staggered to the right. She grabbed onto the table, accidentally pulling the tablecloth, and the porcelain plates clattered to the floor. Alice couldn't steady herself and landed on her butt, clutching her cheek in shock. Everyone on set was stunned, so much so that the director forgot to call cut. I took a deep breath and instantly let tears fall. I'm so sorry. I got too into the scene and forgot we were faking it. Are you okay? I said as I anxiously helped her up. The crew rushed over to check on her. I looked pitiful, tears streaming down my face. This is bad. Her face is swollen. It's all my fault. The director was sympathetic. Hey, it's all right. These things happen in filming. My assistant, quick on the uptake, added, she's just too professional. That take was amazing. The audience is going to love it. Alice wanted to curse me out, but everyone around was praising her dedication and the quality of the performance, so she was momentarily speechless. What's going on? Came a calm, familiar voice from behind. Bruno had arrived. Alice clung to his arm, tearfully saying, Bruno, she hit me. We were supposed to fake it. Look at my face. Bruno frowned and looked at me. I lowered my head obediently, my hair a bit messy, tears still glistening on my cheeks, my eyes and nose flushed red. His gaze flickered. He reached out to wipe my tears but quickly withdrew his hand. Alice saw it, and her face turned pale. Bruno looked at me and said mildly, Why are you crying? I quietly replied. I panicked. I got scared to come here. Alice tugged at his sleeve anxiously. Bruno. Bruno spoke gently. Go take care of your face first, but... Do I need to repeat myself? His tone was still calm, but his eyes were sharp. Alice dared not say another word. Chapter 10. I thought you were tougher than this, getting scared over something like that. He sat in the dressing room chair, voice indifferent. I chuckled lightly. Of course I'm scared. With just one move from you, I could be kicked off the production. Bruno knew I was being sarcastic, yet still couldn't help getting annoyed. He sneered. So heartless when we broke up. Where's that backbone now? What did Alice ever do to you? Nothing. Really? He raised an eyebrow. I had to admit, he knew me too well. All my little thoughts were transparent in front of him. I already said it. I was too into the scene. He pulled out a cigarette pack? Or were you jealous? You're overthinking. He lit the cigarette and stared straight at me through the pale smoke. Camila, you've lost weight. My heart skipped for some unknown reason. If that's all, I'll go. I'm not in the mood to reminisce. Alice is pretty innocent, Bruno said casually. Don't keep giving her a hard time. She's mine now. I'll protect her. I laughed at myself without replying, pushed the door, and left. As the door closed behind me, I heard my own voice tremble slightly. And who have you ever protected? Chapter 11. Justin sent me a full package of Alice's dirt. This is everything I could find. I reviewed it and said, that's enough. Thanks. The company didn't want to go up against Alice's team, but plenty of people did. Back when she first got famous, she stepped on others to rise. I anonymously sent everything to her direct competitor, Zoe. Zoe had a powerful backer behind her. Bold and fearless, she had long disliked Alice. That very night, things exploded. First, someone posted on a gossip forum accusing Alice of diva behavior, school bullying, and plastic surgery. Then PR accounts picked it up, press releases were issued, trending topics were bought, and bots were hired to amplify the story. Alice's team figured out it was Zoe behind it and were furious. But by the time they reacted, it was already the next day and the story had blown up. Their PR scrambled to issue denials and fight back. It was a mess. The production had to halt filming. My agent called me in a panic. Camila, is this related to you? I coldly replied. Stay out of it. They won't trace it to me anytime soon. Anytime soon? Are you out of your mind? Worst case, you shelve me, I smiled sweetly. Too bad the company depends on me to survive now. After hanging up, I took a cab to see Alice. She looked shocked when she opened the door. What are you doing here? Here to laugh at me? I stared at her coldly, barely restraining the rage inside me. Did you kill my dog? She panicked. I don't know what you're talking about. Get out. She shoved me hard, making my shoulder throb. I grabbed her wrist and locked eyes with her. Someone saw you enter my trailer. It wasn't me. They saw wrong. Why did you kill my dog? I don't know what you're saying. Why did you kill my dog? What the hell is wrong with you? Get out. Why? Did you kill my dog? She lost it and smashed a vase over my head. Blood trickled down my forehead. Even then, I kept staring at her like a vengeful ghost. Alice finally screamed in a breakdown. It jumped on me. I thought it was going to bite. Your trailer computer was open. I wanted to peek. How was I supposed to know there was a dog? The damn thing lunged at me. It was disgusting. I kicked it a few times and it started rolling around. I thought it was fine. How was I supposed to know it'd die? It was just a dog. Why are you making such a big deal out of it? I'll pay you. God, I'm sick of this. You old woman, get out of here. I said nothing. I must have looked terrifying. Alice stared at me like I was a lunatic. It wasn't just a dog, I said quietly. I always repay every grudge. This isn't over. Chapter 12. Alice's leg was ruined. They managed to save it with surgery, but whether she could walk again would depend on rehab. I got the news during my flower arrangement class, just cultivating my artistic side. My agent was frantic. It's terrifying. She almost lost the whole leg. Bruno's family had ties in politics and police. He quickly traced everything back to me. He cornered me. Alice was hit by a car. The driver? The father of a student she used to bully. I still had bandages on my head. Is that so? Poor man. A parent's heart is full of pain. You still act like it's nothing? His voice rose. This is too much. Over a dog. You really went this far? Alice's schedule, damn it, it was you who leaked it to him. He almost killed her. I stayed expressionless. Didn't she deserve to die? She drove someone to depression and suicide. Bruno stared at me, conflicted. Camila, how did you become like this? And how should she have ended up? Justin stepped forward, shielding me. Don't project your ideals onto others. Camila's pet, which she raised by hand, was kicked to death, and now you expect her to be all forgiving? What kind of logic is that? Instead of preaching here, go watch your fiancée. If she throws another vase, Camila won't stop me from returning the favor. Bruno finally noticed the bandage. Alice hit you? Why didn't you tell me? Justin scoffed. Would it have mattered? What else can you do besides twist the truth? Bruno grabbed Justin's collar. Who the hell are you? I yanked his hand back. Let go. He's my boyfriend. Chapter 13. Thank you. In Justin's car, I lowered my head and fiddled with the hem of my shirt. It was so awkward. I really didn't want to use him as a shield. If you want to thank me, say it less. That's the real way to thank me, he said, hands on the wheel, eyes focused on the road. I buried my head even lower. Sorry. He chuckled. Say that less too. I looked at him in confusion. I'd met plenty of wealthy people, mostly the spoiled rich kids in Beijing, because their lives were built on money and power from the beginning. Arrogance was ingrained in them. When in a good mood, they might treat you politely. When in a bad mood, they'd say the most humiliating things. Even though Bruno and I had known each other since high school, there was always a thin film between us. It suffocated me. Justin wasn't like them at all. He'd built his empire from scratch, fought tooth and nail in the business world. How do I put it? He had a powerful presence, but also a sense of loyalty and grit. Talking to him, I never felt belittled. He knew how to respect people. He made you feel at ease. Do I look good? Justin asked out of nowhere. I jumped. What? He smirked. You've been sneaking glances at me this whole time, haven't you? No. You look pretty good, I muttered. I quickly looked away, cheeks warming. After a long silence, I stared at the retreating scenery outside the window. Justin, I want to go back to my high school. Chapter 14. The woman was selling vegetables in the wet market, doing quite well. She looked busy. I watched her from afar, bustling around. She looked even older now, and the little girl next to her had grown taller, hunched over the table doing homework. Justin stood beside me. You're just going to watch from here? I pulled out a cloth bag and handed it to the woman at the stall in front. Auntie, could you help me give this to that lady? She took it. Of course. You look kinda familiar. Are you a celebrity or something? I wore a mask and shook my head. You've got the wrong person. She took the bag, and then chatted excitedly with the woman, hid behind a pillar, unable to hear clearly. Faintly, I heard her say. Such a beautiful girl, tall, long legs, and such a graceful vibe. The woman opened the bag in confusion. Inside was a bank card and a handwritten note. The neat handwriting said, "There's 5 million in the card. The password is on the back." She looked up. I quickly ducked behind the pillar. I didn't dare meet her eyes. The weight of those tears, I couldn't bear it. Justin silently handed me a tissue. Turns out, I was crying too. It started to drizzle, the rain soft and thin, the road to the cemetery was in poor shape, and mud splashed all over the luxury car. I bought a bouquet of daisies and laid them in front of the principal's tombstone. They were her favorite flowers when she was alive. In the black and white photo, she smiled so gently, only now the rain hit her face, as if she were crying. I tilted the umbrella. I didn't shield you from the wind and rain while you lived, now the umbrella comes too late. Justin, do you want to hear about my past? Chapter 15. When I was 10, I helped my mother escape from home. She had been trafficked into marriage. That day, my father went to town for errands. I pretended not to notice my mother's intentions and helped her deceive the neighbors. It was a long walk from the mountain to the bus station that led to the train, and my mother sat on the truck, gazing into the distance, the wind brushing through her messy hair. For the first time, I saw her eyes light up. I curled up in the corner, small and silent, just quietly watching her. I thought, so this is what my mother looks like when she's truly happy. So vivid. So beautiful. Her eyes sparkled as she looked at me. Camila, do you want to come live in the city with mommy? At that moment, I wanted to nod so badly, but I smiled and shook my head. My mom was so naive. If we both left, my dad would never let it go. He'd dig up the whole earth to find us. Besides, I had already overheard the village women saying, a woman with a child can't marry a good man. She'll be dragged down for life. My mom was so wonderful, she deserved freedom. Her eyes dimmed. After a long silence, she looked up again with determination. Camila, Mommy has some things to take care of. It might not come back for a while. Can you go home by yourself? I nodded. My mom hugged me. I knew this might be the last time I'd ever see her. I held her face in my hands and studied it carefully, wanted to sketch her face 100 times, to engrave it deep in my memory, so that whenever I missed her, I could recall it. When we parted, she cried uncontrollably. I waved to her in the wind. Only after she was gone did I realize there was a bank book in my pocket, with 5,000 yuan she had secretly saved. That year, I lost my mother. And from that moment on, I no longer wanted to stay in the mountains. Chapter 16. Inches Middle School. I applied for dormitory housing, Because of my mother's departure, my father, who already had a bad temper, became even more volatile. When drunk, he would often beat me violently. Our principal was a compassionate woman. When I asked for boarding, I quietly lifted my shirt in front of her. There wasn't a patch of unbruised skin on me. Her eyes immediately welled up with tears. I promised her, "Teacher, I'll be the top scorer in the high school entrance exam." That period of my life felt hollow. Each day was a copy-paste routine: dormitory, cafeteria, classroom. A cycle filled with monotony, tedium, and suffocation. I didn't make friends or talk to anyone unless answering a question. I often felt lonely, but my solution was simple. I filled every spare moment with practice tests and homework. If I stayed too busy to think about the present or the past, I wouldn't feel sad because I couldn't catch my breath. I was able to breathe. Throughout those 3 years, I never lost the top spot in class. Camus once said, "Becoming used to a hopeless situation is worse than the situation itself. That's the real misfortune." So I wasn't afraid of hardship or of exhaustion. What I feared most was losing hope. When the high school entrance exam came, I fulfilled my promise. Scoring the highest in the city and earning a full scholarship to the best school became the miracle of that year. It shocked many, even made headlines. A student from the mountains, beating city kids with tutoring, that was unheard of. On the day I received my diploma, the principal gently patted my head. She said, "Some birds were never meant to be caged. Camila, a bigger world awaits you." Chapter 17 Inches. My second year at Ijong High School, my father was beaten to death over gambling debts he couldn't repay. We're still holding the funeral when the debt collectors came knocking at the door. It was the principal who paid off the debt for me. She had no children of her own and said that from now on, I was her daughter. I was so happy. I had a mother again. That weekend, the principal even gave me pocket money and encouraged me to go on a picnic with my classmates. That afternoon was pure joy. It was the happiest day of my entire high school life. I felt like a normal girl, taking out the food the principal had prepared and sharing it with everyone. As the sun set in the west, Bruno and I walked side by side. Passing a small park, we saw a little girl playing alone on the swing. I called out to Bruno. "Bruno, let's go keep her company." About half an hour later, the little girl beamed, "My mom's here." I turned around, and instantly I recognized her. There was no mistake. It was my mother. The same mother I had helped escape all those years ago. She looked much healthier now. Her eyes were filled with hope. Her entire demeanor had changed. At the same time, she recognized me too. She froze, unsure how to face me. She had a new family, a new life. I was just a shadow from her nightmare past. It was understandable that she didn't want to acknowledge me. I felt tears surge to my eyes, but I smiled and said, "Auntie, your daughter's been waiting for you." The most painful thing in the world isn't passing by someone you don't recognize. It's recognizing someone, and not being able to acknowledge them. She walked her daughter home, Bruno, and I sat in silence in the little park for a long time. I didn't expect her to come back, but she did. She handed me a clean cloth pouch. Inside was money, savings she had scraped together over time. 5 yuan bills, 10 yuan bills, 20s, even 1 yuan notes. The money was old, but stacked neatly. She sobbed. "Camila, I recognized you." I forced a carefree laugh. "It's fine. I'm doing great now. The principal adopted me. I'm rich now. I even came out for a picnic today. As long as you're doing well, I can rest easy." "You should take the money back," but she insisted. "No, you take it. Please." I didn't want her to carry any guilt, so I accepted the money with exaggerated nonchalance. Bruno had stayed silently by my side the whole time. He never asked a single question. We took the bus back. It was crowded. He wrapped his arms around me, gently maneuvering us toward an empty seat and had me sit down. Night had fallen, and the city lights shimmered outside. The flickering lights cast shifting shadows on my face. I peeked at his reflection in the bus window. One hand holding the strap, the other in his pocket. He stood tall, eyes half lowered. His eyelashes were so long, I thought. The shadow they cast looked like black butterfly wings beneath his eyes. Just before the final stop, the seat next to me finally opened up. He sat down, carrying the fresh scent of clean laundry, probably from some expensive detergent. I asked cautiously, "Don't you want to ask me anything?" He looked at me seriously. If you want to talk, you will. If you don't, asking would only make you sad. I let out a breath of relief. In my ear was a solemn promise from a teenage boy. Camila, I'll always stay by your side. Don't be afraid. Chapter 18. After entering university, I was discovered by a talent scout and signed with an agency. Many people thought it was a shame, a top student from a 985 university becoming an actress. They said it was a waste. But I quite liked acting. More importantly, I wanted to reduce the burden on my family as soon as possible. The principal always supported my career. I was dating Bruno, and she knew it too. She just gently reminded me. Don't let yourself be bullied. I even found it amusing. Bruno, bully me? No way. Later, it happened. After returning from that trip to the UK.ATA banquet, Kevin deliberately brought me up. That girl sure has high aspirations. Bruno spoils her to no end. Everyone could understand the implication. It reached Bruno's mother. She asked to meet me. I thought it would play out like in the TV dramas, with her giving me a check and asking me to leave, but she didn't come herself. Instead, her assistant came. On the table was a thick stack of documents, a summarized record of my life from birth until now. It included my father's gambling, my mother having been trafficked, details about her current family, and even where the principal and I lived. My face turned pale. For a wealthy and powerful family, pushing away a poor girl was so easy. No need for checks or money. Just a few phone calls, and they could destroy me, and everyone around me. The assistant smiled politely. Miss, we sincerely hope you'll choose the smart way out. If you spare us trouble, we'll spare you trouble too. Chapter 19. Justin held on to me tenderly as I swayed. And then? You broke up? Yes. I broke up that very day. Left him a book and blocked all his contact information. My teeth were chattering. But not long after, the principal mom was suddenly accused of embezzling school funds. She lived a life of poverty. How could she have done such a thing? Later, during the investigation, my principal mom developed severe depression and committed suicide. I had just entered the industry and had no savings. Even after selling her house, the debt wasn't repaid. I had to beg my birth mother. She helped me pay 500,000 yuan, that was originally meant for her family to buy a house. I said coldly, on the same day Alice was hit, the person I planted in the company finally found out the truth. It was Bruno's mother who pulled the strings. She bribed school officials to pin the crime on the principal. Justin, I'm going to send her to prison. Chapter 20. Bruno's mother was summoned by the court for embezzlement and money laundering. The company was investigated, and many of his political relatives got dragged into it. Since it all started because of me, and the interest web was too complicated, I feared retaliation, so I decided to move to Hong Kong City. Justin came to help me pack. While cleaning, we found several journals, ones Bruno and I had made together. He once teased me. Such girly stuff. But he was more enthusiastic than anyone when it came to cutting photos. Justin picked one up. Do you want to keep these? I shook my head. Throw them away. They're not important anymore. As we carried boxes downstairs, someone was standing under the tree, tall and upright. My temples throbbed involuntarily. It was Bruno. He must have been overwhelmed lately. He looked a lot thinner. Late autumn leaves had started falling. With his head slightly down, he looked desolate and lonely. Justin took my hand and pulled me behind him. Bruno let out a dry laugh. No need to be so defensive. I didn't come to pick a fight. Justin said in a low voice. You'd better not. Camila, Bruno looked at me quietly. Are you really leaving? Yes. Can I talk to you? He almost pleaded. Just one last time. I thought for a moment. It was good to have everything out in the open. Justin ruffled my hair. Go ahead. I'll wait for you to come back. When he left, Bruno walked toward me. He asked me. Camila, are you happy now? How does it compare to when we were together? I smiled. Better. At least no one looks down on me anymore. He smiled too, though his smile was tinged with a bitterness he couldn't suppress. That's good. Do you hate me? I was very calm. I've never hated you. His voice turned hoarse. I really didn't know about the principal. I'm sorry. There's no need. I stepped back. After all, I'm the one who brought your family down. The one who owes me is your mother. Seeing her in prison is enough for me. Your apology isn't necessary. Bruno gave a pale smile. You're always so rational. Did you know, I really wanted to marry you? I kept working hard, thinking that once I fully took over the company, no one would dare meddle in our relationship anymore. Your dog. I know you were heartbroken. Alice was introduced to me by another boss. She and I weren't just casually dating. That day, I wasn't really trying to blame you. I was just afraid you'd act impulsively and drag someone else into something you couldn't fix. He stopped talking, and after a long silence, he laughed bitterly at himself. I was so self-righteous. Calculated everything to perfection, yet in the end, I didn't get what I wanted most. Bruno and I had been in love for 5 years. We'd almost turned love into a competition. Only now do I realize how foolish it is to try to win or lose in love. In the end, both sides lose. My voice didn't waver a bit. There's no denying that you loved me. But you loved yourself more. You loved your power, your status, your refined and untouchable circle of wealthy elites. And that's okay. But your mistake was pretending you gave everything for me when your heart had already leaned elsewhere. Your friends, your family, even people on the internet, they all saw how you humiliated me. And you saw it too, but chose to look away. You couldn't handle those problems, so you pushed me out to deal with them. What did I ever do wrong? It's not that you never understood me, you simply couldn't be bothered to try understanding anyone. Yes, you came from a privileged background, but I'm a human being too. I have self-respect, a full personality, dreams, hopes for the future. Why should I be the one to sacrifice? You were never the only one with choices. I had choices too. Even without Justin, I could still shine on my own.so. Bruno, if I couldn't feel your love, that's not my problem. It's yours. He swayed slightly, veins bulging from his neck in agony. I looked down at him with pity. I sincerely wish you the strength to crawl into your new world. Autumn nights come early, the streetlights cast our shadows long and thin. My face flickered between light and dark. It reminded me of all those years ago when we'd take the bus home, and I'd secretly watch his profile in the window's reflection. Those memories are gone now, like a dream within a dream. I didn't cry. The premise of losing a bet is that the other party willingly throws down their arms and surrenders too. I've lost before, and the outcome was a total mess, but fortunately, it's never too late to cut your losses in time. And now, I've found someone who's willing to step onto the battlefield empty-handed, for me.